Okay, so today we are going to talk on Mudita, one of the four Brahma Viharas, the third one, the Mudita, which is translated as joy or sympathetic joy. So we so far have discussed and talked on Brahma Vihara, the first and the second one, Metta and Karuna. And then last session we discussed on a Karuna. Well, anybody wants to say anything on the Karuna before we move on to Mudita? Any missing? Any thoughts that we missed in Karuna? Compassion? Anything that we missed? No?
No, I think it's complete on Karuna.
Not complete yet. There is one more thing. So I keep it for last after all four finished. There is one last thing we haven't touched yet. So not complete yet. Even the meta also not complete yet. Last bit is still there. It's like ultimate. Keeping for the last. The one last thing is left there, and Karuna as well. So, okay. So, in terms of Mudita, then what do you think? Any thought on a Mudita? What do you think of a Mudita? So I translate here sympathetic joy. What is it? What do you think? Titadamo?
Sorry?
What do you think of a Mudita?
A sort of appreciation of good deeds, of appreciation of good deeds and attainments and things like that of people. Sharing in it.
Sharing in it. I was expecting that you will say same thing like a Karuna, complete all. Or summary of a Karuna. That's short. Niroz.
So, in my opinion, I think Mudita is just like when someone is doing a good karma and then we are happy on that work which they are doing, and we are rejoicing on that good deed they are doing, what they are doing.
Okay. So that's a sympathetic joy. Yeah. So this is basically others doing good and appreciation of others' success is mudita, isn't it? Yeah. And there is this is what is the summary of a translation. Sympathetic joy, being joyful for other people's happiness and success with no jealousy, no ill will. So no jealousy and no ill will with others' success. Normally, if you are in the office working together and someone is promoted, then you will be very jealous, and you will be saying that, oh, that post should be mine. Like that is a jealousy develops. What would you do in that case? I remember there was one lady She is Indian descent, and she was working in this council house, and she was a senior staff and working a long time, over 10 years. And then she's supposed to be promoted for the another higher position. But rather than her position increased, someone who was a junior from British descent was promoted. And with that, she was so angry, she was so jealous, she couldn't bear that. She also developed the idea that this is a discrimination. I've been working here more than her, and this is probably because I am not born in the UK, like that. She developed this idea a lot, and eventually she couldn't stay on a job, so she quit from that job. Okay, but she forgot that needs to be, she the lady who was working along with her, who was promoted, she was young, younger than her, and more enthusiastic. It happened that I managed to meet both later on. So it can cause a lot of troubles. And I used to watch this the program called The Apprentice. And in that apprentice, again, you are working together, but end of the day, when something happens, then you are blaming to one another. Yeah, so like that, and this is the part of the jealousy and ill will. And the second is the pleasure that comes from delighting in others' well-being and success. This is again quite a interesting one about this delighting in others' well-being. I think this is more lacking nowadays.
It's all fake.
Yeah, right? And as a result, a lot of emotional debility is there. So this is one of the main topic I think needs to be emphasized nowadays to create the harmony. Yeah.
Have you ever heard of this theory called status anxiety?
Okay, no.
It's from this, he's like a sociologist slash philosopher. I forgot his name. I think Alain de Botton.
Okay.
He came up with this theory called status anxiety, which is unique to modern times, because in previous eras, because of the different levels in society, like let's say I'm a farmer, I wouldn't worry about trying to be a lord. I would just be happy with my farm because it's impossible. This was sort of carved into your mind. But nowadays, you get people who like entrepreneurs, and like nowadays we are sort of sold this idea that we can live like a king as well, even though that's not true. Like you can live a decent life, but I can never live like a celebrity. It's not going to happen. But because of TV and social media, always
You can do.
yeah, always pushing this fantasy on your face every day, every minute. You start thinking, why can't I do this? Why I'm so horrible? You start hating yourself, and you develop this anxiety about what you have. So instead of being content, like in the Western world, life is so good for most people. Like majority, only very little people are suffering here. Majority have a good life. They have a good home. Even if they don't own it, they have enough food every day. But still, they're so anxious and so unhappy because they want to live this fantasy that they're being sold. Because this fantasy is being sold in order to make more money. It's for advertising. But they see it as a possibility. So it's like if they have a bit more mudita or equanimity.
Yeah. That's quite interesting. Nowadays, everybody, yeah, as you said, in previous and now is so different. And now everybody wants to be in the top.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is the summary that I gathered. I was expecting Kantita Dhamma to summarize this. Okay. Niroz, can you read it for us?
Yes, Achan. From the beginning, right?
Yes.
Okay. May my good fortune continue and increase. May our good fortune continue and increase. Mudita
Strengthens.
strengthens the capacity to experience joy and happiness. It is likened to a flower at full bloom. It is the ability to appreciate something as it is blooming and releasing the fragrant
Fragrance.
fragrance of its happiness without falling over the edge into the skeptical, uh,
Skeptical.
skeptical, sardonic reaction such as, "What is the point? It will only last for a moment." The practice of mudita lifts the heart out of it preoccupation
Preoccupation.
preoccupation with as
Insufficiency.
insufficiency. As a result, the bounty bon, buoyant,
Beyond, right?
Buoyant.
Buoyant.
buoyant energies of gratitude and generosity begin to restore the human spirit. The near enemy of mudita is experience,
Exuberance.
exuberance. Exuberance is an overly excited, even manic state. It is the sense of deprivation, grasping at moment of joy. The fair enemy of mudita is
Far enemy.
far enemy of mudita is resentment. Mudita is the medicine for the poison of jealousy. Envy,
Envy. Envy.
envy, envy, and derision,
Derision.
derision. Mudita heals the cruel, argue,
Urge.
urge, urge to suppress happiness,
Suppress.
suppress
Suppress.
happiness with an cultivation of mudita. We trap a reservoir of joy,
We
reserve,
tap a reservoir.
reservoir, reservoir of joy by sharing times of happiness and good fortune. Mudita is amplified,
Exemplified.
exemplified in the mother-child connection. When the child begins to express its own creative nature, mudita is the ability to join, the support, the expanding spirit. The Buddha taught that one of our challenges is to cultivate mudita even in the world fully of misery.
Okay. So this is the summary of the mudita. And here the simile is quite nice simile, a flower at the bloom, and you share its bloomness to all. So this is sharing it. Normally when people see a beautiful flower, they want to take it home for themselves. But here, rather than taking it, sharing the beauty of it, appreciating how beautiful that is, and maintaining that. Also, this near enemy, mudita, this is normally we have. It's excitement. We become so excited to see someone's success, and this particularly someone who we are very dear. So that person's success, we always become very excited, and sometimes that brings the pride. This is opposite of the pride. Opposite is the pride, and this we have to understand. And normally people can be very proud of success of the friend, their own friend or their own child, and that is not the mudita. You are showing off. It's like this, my child has attained this one, like that. This is, you can see a lot nowadays in Facebook. Everybody will be posting posts to show their pride, and then we are better. Look at me, look at us, look at our child, look at our friends. So that's basically the pride. Okay, and some do post those in order to kind of dominate others. So it's emotionally playing game here in order to display their pride and dominate others. So this is, we have to understand this one, that if that's going to be a pride, then that's not mudita. Mudita hasn't got any kind of attachment related at all. Okay? Can you tell any examples on this? Pride and overexcited on a success? Any? I would like to tell about the mudita. While you're thinking about this one, I will tell you a story from the Buddha. Okay, if you remember, after Buddha attained the enlightenment, then the Buddha went to teach the 5 ascetics, right? Panchavaggiyas. And at the end of the Dhammacakkappavattana Sutra, when the Kondanya attained the Dhamma eye, Buddha was rejoicing his attainment, right? Anyasi watapo kondanyo, anyasi watapo kondanyo. So that is a mudita that Buddha expressed to the Kondanya's success. Like that. In the meantime, there are other stories whenever someone is practicing and attain the enlightenment, and yet other people or other monks recognize that they are pretending to be an arahant. Then they come to complain to the Buddha, and the Buddha would tell them that no, they have attained the arhat, so you should rejoice. So Buddha is pointing other monks to rejoice on another person's success. So that's also the mudita on success. There's no, it's not about the pride that he has successful, but it's a pride of someone's achievement.
Also, like if someone explained the Dhamma really well, like Venerable Sariputta or Dhammadinna,
Yeah,
he would be like all.
yeah. Well said. Well, yeah, that's also rejoicing. It's not the pride, right? What about this pride and rejoice? Do you remember Devadatta and Ajatasattu? When Ajatasattu managed to kill his father and get the throne, Devadatta was happy, and that's a pride. He's thinking of something out of it.
Was to get something.
Get something. So he was feeling of a pride that now I will be the head of the Sangha with the support of Ajatasattu. So that is not the success. That's not the mudita. Any other stories that you can think of? Someone is overly rejoicing on someone's success. No? Think about the pride. Whenever some, like we do have, particularly in Indian community, whenever their children succeed or accomplished something, they will be having a feast, organizing a parties to celebrate it, so that everybody knows that my child has accomplished this.
Yeah.
So it's a demonstration of the pride. And meanwhile, there are people celebrating in a big parties whenever they success in their career or a job or a education. And that's also pride. So that is not the mudita. But again, it is kind of a cycle nowadays, that once you have attended someone's parties to celebrate their success, you also have to organize something similar so that you will be in the same herd.
Oh, this could be a very controversial example. Monastic titles. It's like in some places in Sri Lanka, you have to say a whole list of achievements before you say the monk's name, or else there is resentment. It's like how to say Agga Maha Pandita, all this, and then say the name. Please. Similar in Thailand as well, I guess.
So, and then I think because in the world now, we're living in a society where you are accepted from what's the titles and the success you have achieved. That's another story as well. And then I've seen one monk who was so humble in that. That's Lompo Sombun. Lompo Sombun, I asked him to write down his success, what he had done over this 40 years of time, and then he always say no. I even compiled from the discussion that we had, sitting together, having a meal together, and always ask his success. And that time, when I collected the information and I wrote it down, type it, and then give it to him to check it, and he just delete all those success, all these accomplishments that he had done, and he simply say, I came to UK this time and I was this temple, and then I am moving this temple. That's it.
So, I heard the story of a monk in Sri Lanka as well. He achieved a lot. By his 60th Vassa, they wanted to write like sort of like an appreciation booklet, like all his achievements and his knowledge, everything. But he said, no, just release a Dhamma book with all that. Why do you want to do this?
Okay. So that's the stories as well. And he also doesn't like to celebrate his birthdays. Okay. The second one is the far enemy, and which is quite understandable, resentment. And this resentment, again, we can feel it in our hearts whenever someone, particularly someone we have known or someone we have been through, and their success, when we hear their success, then that resentment can come as well. Yeah? And the envy and jealousy can arise. And this is another way of looking at it, that not mudita. There will be a heart of, I wish that person didn't get it. I wish that person shouldn't achieve it. And those kind of thoughts, that resentment. Can you think of any stories on that? Mudita and resentment?
Okay, Ajahn, I have one story. On Mudita, right, Ajahn?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. I have a PowerPoint presentation.
Okay, just a minute. Okay. Your professor is here.
Incognito.
Okay. Can you see my presentation?
Yeah.
Okay. So, I think this story is very interesting, and we can see the point of the view that we are talking about. It's about the Mudita. The story begins from the time when the Lord Dipankar Buddha was occurred in this world.
Yeah.
At that time, our Buddha was ascetic, named called SUMEDH Rishi, SUMEDH ascetic. And actually, at that time, Lord Buddha coming to that place to bless all the people around that city. And then what happened was Sumedh Bodhisattva, he heard that for a few moments Lord Buddha is going to pass from this way, and then all people are making merits, doing good deeds. They are making the way, good way to Lord Buddha to pass from this way. And what happened was, Sumedh at that time, he has Abhinya, that means the 5 great knowledge that a simple man do not have, because we have to practice some meditation into the just like the higher level of the meditation in the channel level, and then these kinds of superpower will come. It's called Abhinya. And then what happened was, the Bodhisattva asked to the people who were working at the time that, is there any work that I can help you? And then they just point to that place. There was some muddy. There was some water and muddy on that place, and then uh, they just point to that place. And then what happened was, he was going to make it good, but actually suddenly the Lord Buddha come to that place with his disciple, about 1 million disciple followed to the Lord Buddha Dipankar. And what happened was, Sumedha Rishi, Sumedha ascetic or the Bodhisattva, he just don't know what to do, and he just suddenly decided that, and then okay, I cannot fix this place, but I will become just like a breeze to cross over my body to the Lord Buddha will take a step on my body, and he will walk away to the other side. And then just he lay down to that muddy place and say to the Lord Buddha that, please pass away from my body. You can step on my body and you can go to another side. And then when the Lord Buddha Dipankar saw this man, and with his jnana, that means the knowledge, Lord Dipankar Buddha knows that this is a bodhisattva. And then he knows that, oh, he is doing a great merit, that if simple person, they cannot do these kinds of merit. And then Lord Dipankar Buddha told to that disciple, his disciple and all the people around there, that this is not a simple person. He is a bodhisattva. He is accumulating the merits, doing the paramita, that means the perfection, 10 perfection, and then told that from this day he will call the Niyata Bodhisattva. Before he have already made many merits, but he haven't get blessed by any one of the Buddha in the past life. But this is the first time that the Lord Buddha blessed to the Bodhisattva Sumedha that from now you are called the Niyata Bodhisattva, and in future you will become a Buddha named called Gautama Buddha. So this is the story in the picture I was telling about, and you can see that behind the Sumedha Bodhisattva there was one girl who has a lotus in her hand. Do you saw that? Yeah. So when the Bodhisattva said to the Lord Buddha that one day I want to become a Buddha in the future, and then when the Lord Buddha gave a bless that surely you will become a Lord Buddha in the future, named Gautama Buddha, and then this little girl was hearing, listening to the Lord Buddha too, and then what happened was this girl also making a wish that I want to become his life partner. For every life when he born as anything, then I will become his life partner. So he make a wish, and actually when the Bodhisattva heard this wish in front of the Lord Buddha Dipankar, then Sumedha Bodhisattva told to the her that don't make these kinds of wish. And then Lord Dipankar Buddha told that Don't say like that, Sumedha Bodhisattva. Because she will be she will help you to attend or to get in the highest level you are wishing to be, the Lord Buddha. She will give a greatest sacrifice in the future. If there is no her in your life, then your wishes cannot be success. And then from that day, and when they make a wish, and then after that there was another story that I was going to tell you. And after that, for a long time, when the Lord Dipankar Buddha gave a wish, gave a blessing to the Sumedha Rishi, Sumedha ascetic, and then from that time about four asankha, that means I don't know what it called in the English, asankha.
Uncountable.
Accountable. Okay, accountable time. It has passed many years, many time, and then it comes to the time when the Lord Buddha became a Buddha. He became a Buddha and attained the enlightenment, become a Buddha. And then after that, just like we listen to the Achan Sujan that Bahujana Hitaya, Bahujana Sukhaya. After he preached to his disciple, then they went for a different direction to preach uh, the people, to teach the people for the welfare and the happiness of the people. And then Lord Buddha also came back to his homeland in the Kapilavastu. Kapilavastu, and what happened was at that time, as you know that most of the people in the Kapilavastu, they are relatives of the Lord Buddha, and their age are more than the Lord Buddha at that time. And so they have a pride. They have a pride that, oh, if we sit in front of the Buddha, then we have to obey. We have to show a respect to the Lord Buddha. So they were not in front of the Lord Buddha, but instead of that, they were sending the little boy in front of the Lord Buddha, and they were uh, all the big people are behind of the little boy. And then when Lord Buddha knows that in our relatives there are more pride, ใช้คำว่า pride หรือเปล่าอาจารย์ ahangkar.
ใช่ใช่
Yeah, they have got a more pride, and they have no faith on the Lord Buddha. And so Lord Buddha knows what they were thinking, and so he showed a miracle to his relatives. Miracle to his relatives. So he went to the chana, fourth chana, and then Lord Buddha fly over the sky. And after flying into the sky, and then he saw the miracles. It's called the red rain, Bokharapat. In Pali, it's called the Bokharapat. And what happened was when the Lord Buddha was flying, and there was a red rain occurs during that time, and then if anyone wants to become wet from that rain, then it's wet. If anyone don't want to become wet, then it's not wet. It's a kind of miracle rain, and it's red in the color. And then when all the relatives saw this miracle, and then their pride slowly became down and down, and they began to have a faith on the Lord Buddha. And what happened was after that, Lord Buddha told that not only this time, these kinds of rain happen or occurs in this time. Even in the past, there was these kinds of rain already happened when I was a bodhisattva. And again, Lord Buddha told another story. Another story is a little bit long, Ajahn. The another story is called WESANTAR JATAKA. This is the very famous story. If you want to read in the detail, then you can search as a WESANTAR JATAKA. But I will tell you in the brief. And what happened was, Lord Buddha told that even in the time when I was Bodhisattva called WESANTAR, there was this kinds of rain already happened. And then Lord Buddha told this story once again, that at that time there was a kingdom called CP, and the king uh, named CP was ruling on that kingdom. And after the passing of the king CP, his son ruled that kingdom once again, called Sanchai. And he also have a one son, that's the Bodhisattva WESANTAR. And what happened was, WESANTAR Bodhisattva was very kind, very well knowledge, and everybody loved him inside the palace and outside of the palace. And inside that kingdom, there was one elephant named called Pachai. If anybody have an elephant in that country, in that kingdom, then that country will be very happy and very peace, very quiet, no quarreling, uh, raining every, there was a rain, no any kinds of, just like a,
Drought.
drown. And then what happened was, there was another country nearby the kingdom called Sifi, and there was no rain for a long time, about 12 years. So lots of people in that kingdom was suffering. And when the ascetic, or it's called hermit, they heard this news that if we have that white elephant, then our kingdom will once again become good, and all the people who was suffering will be become good once again. Uh, and so when they heard that news, then they come to this kingdom, to the Sifi kingdom, and everyone knows that if anyone asks anything to the Bodhisattva WESANTAR, then he will give as a dana to all the people. If anyone asks for a food, then he will give a food. If anyone asks to the clothes, then he will give a clothes. If anyone asks to the diamond, then he will give a diamond. If anyone asks any kinds of thing, he will give everything. So these ascetic come to this kingdom and they ask for an elephant, white elephant. But don't forget that this elephant is just like the wealth of this kingdom. And every people love this white elephant too. And what happened was, when this ascetic came to ask for this white elephant, and then even the Lord Buddhas gave that elephant to those ascetic. When he heard that there is a lots of suffering happening in their kingdom, then he just decided on this 1 second that, okay, I will give this elephant to you. And he just gave to those ascetic. And he poured the water on their hand, just like the sign that I have already gave this to you. And what happened was, because of that action, that he gave an elephant to those ascetic, and then all the people in that Sifi kingdom get angry of the Bodhisattva WESANTAR. And once again, what happened, that all the people decided that, oh no, this WESANTAR Bodhisattva have done a wrong thing. He even gave the wealth of our kingdom, that's a white elephant, not any simple kinds of wealth. This is the greatest wealth we have, because white elephant we cannot find very easily. It's a very hard to find. So after that, all the kingdom decided that we should banded to this prince Bodhisattva Vesantara out of his kingdom, and then they forced the king to banish to the Bodhisattva, and then after that the Bodhisattva Vesantara was banished by the kingdom, and then with his wife called Masri and the two children called Kanha and Jali. They were all banished. Uh, four people were banished out of that country, out of that kingdom, and they went to the forest called the Himawanta forest, and they make a small hut in that place, and they were living peacefully, quietly, and happily. And then once again, what happened was this, just like that. That's a destiny that destiny wants to test the Bodhisattva's parami to fulfill his parami. So one of the men, one of the beggar called the JUJAK news that WESANTAR have already went to the forest called the HIMAWANT, and they were living there. If anyone wants anything, then if you ask him, then he will give. So he was planning that if I went and met the WESANTAR, then I will ask for his wife and son and daughter. And what happened was he was on the way, and the JUJAK in the white dress, you can see, he made a one ascetic and asked to the ascetic that where to meet the WESANTAR, which way, and then ACHUTA, the ascetic name was ACHUTA. ACHUTA ascetic told the way, from this direction you go straightly and you will meet where the WESANTAR was staying, and then JUJAK went to from that direction, which was told by the ACHUTA hermit. And then what happened was, at that day, actually, the Masri, who was the wife of the WESANTARA, went inside of the jungle to find some fruits. And while he was taking of fruits, and it is full of the fruits, and suddenly she was going to back to the place where they were living, but there were three kinds of animal blocking the way of the Masi. And actually, these three kinds of animal was tiger, lion, and leopard. And actually, in the Buddhist script, it's called actually they were transformed from actually there was a devas from the heaven, and then they just come to in the another form as a tiger, lion, and the leopard, to just like to test. So they were blocking the way, so that she could not reach at the time when the Bodhisattva was giving a dana, daughter and a son to the JUJAK. If she reached at the place at the time when WESANTAR was giving the dana to his son and the daughter, then she will suddenly stop. She will not allow to give a dana to the WESANTAR. So these three animals come to block in the way. And suddenly, in another place, what was happening was, there was a WESANTAR, you can see, and that there was two children. One is hiding into the lotus flower, and another one is outside of the place. And actually, the JUJAK reached to that place where WESANTAR was living, and then and then asked that I want, actually he didn't saw his wife, and so he saw the children, and then children also saw the jujak, and they were very afraid that if someone asks us, then our father will give to them. So that they were hiding into the one small pool, uh, and then Jujak asked for his daughter and a son, Kanha and Jali. And then what happened was Lord Bodhisattva was searching for his daughter and the son. They were hiding. And then he said to his son and the daughter, "This is my greatest test, son and daughter. Please help me. If you help me to do these merits, then it will be your greatest sacrifice." It's not easy. It's just like our eyes. If in someone come to ask our eyes, can you give it to somebody? It's very hard. So after the listening to his father that he was going to make the greatest sacrifice, and then Kanha and Jali, and they accepted that what his father told, and then Juzok took them. And when the Masri came back and asked, "Where are our children?" And when Lord Bodhisattva told the truth that I have already gave a dana to the Jujak, then what happened was she suddenly fainted for the first time. And when she wake up from the faint, and then again asked once again, and again she faint again and again. When she heard that, "Oh no, why do you give our son and daughter?" Yeah, and then he explained, Bodhisattva explained that actually I like my son and daughter as my eyes. It is very expensive things, and I do love them very much, but I like the body gyan more than that. Yeah, some body gyan. Yeah, so because he have already make a vow that one day I will become a Buddha, and this is the greatest test. And then when Mercy heard the reason that the Bodhisattva did, uh, like that gave his son and the daughter as a dana, and then she just rejoiced on that merit. Oh, that is a very greatest sacrifice that she made. Actually, if anyone who is mother or father, they cannot do that. But when Bodhisattva explained, then she also that, okay, then I will rejoice on that merit. One day you will become a Buddha, then you can help many more people. And so after that, actually story was very long, and then the Lord Indra also came to ask for a dana as well, just like he was also coming to test. But the Lord Indra asked for a Masri, the wife of the Bodhisattva. And even the wife, Lord Bodhisattva also sacrificed his own wife to the Lord Indra too. Uh, Once again, he sacrificed his wife. And then in the way, when the Jujak was taking these two child uh, for going at his home, and on the way he used his stick to beat these children, because children are crying. So yeah, so he beat those children, and at the night, the Jujok, when Jujok was sleeping on the tree, you can see that picture. And then at the night, these children was very crying because they missed their parents. And then what happened was suddenly there was some devas from the Rukha Devata, trees god. And then when they heard the sound of the baby who were crying, then they transformed their form into the uh, WESANTAR and the Masi as a father and mother, and come to look after them. And when the Bodhisattva sacrifice his son and a daughter. Actually, he made some kinds of contract with a JUJAK that if anyone come and ask if you want to sell these children, then you should sold on this price. That means that you have anyone have to give a more money to free from his chain and for those children. So in that kingdom, only the king can just like free for those children. No any other people can free or take their children. So when the time pass away, then everything became good. Actually, these children, two children, actually the JUJAK was going to his homeland, but when the God knows that he was going on that direction, then they was changed to the another direction, and actually he went to the kingdom called Sifi, and they met his grandfather. These children met his grandfather, King Sifi, and then King gave a lot of money to the JUJAK and returned back those grandsons, both of the grandsons, and even what happened was after that, all inside the kingdom, all people are just calm down, and they have once again they have a faith on the Vesantara Bodhisattva, and even the king and the queen requested to come back in the palace once again, come back to the kingdom. And when they came back, suddenly they met the four ascetic, the four ascetic who were asked the white elephant to the Bodhisattva in the before, and they come back and told to the Bodhisattva that now our kingdom has returned back to the green land. All people are happy now, so we came here to beg the white elephant. And then they gave the elephant back to his kingdom, and all the people who are living in the kingdom become happy once again. So this was the story. We can see that the wife of the Bodhisattva called the Masri, she have a great sacrifice. Even that was the greatest sacrifice. Then when she understand to the Bodhisattva, and then she also rejoice. Not only this life. This is only the one example I have shown. I have said to you, but there was many life in you can find in the Jataka tales. Many life she has made a sacrifice and rejoice on that good deeds that have Bodhisattva have made. Actually, when this story ends, at the last, Lord Buddha told that Kanha Jali, Kanha is the one who come and born as a Ubonwana Bhikkhuni, and Jali become as a Rahula, and this white elephant become as a bhikkhu called Mahakasapa, and his father and mother at that time become Suddhodana and Mahamaya, and the Bodhisattva Vesantar become a Buddha in this time.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for the story. We see here that Yasodhara or Bimba, she rejoiced on Bodhisattvas making a vow to be the Buddha. Yeah, and I see that expression of the Mudita, despite of knowing that how hard life would be, and is still able to rejoice in it. And the same with when she heard that her two children were given away, that time again, despite of that difficulties, she managed to rejoice on a good thought that the Bodhisattva had and eventually accomplished. So this is the mudita that we are talking. Can you stop sharing?
Okay.
Yeah, okay. So that's the part of the Mudita, the story that we are talking about. Yeah, and this second and a jealousy. The second one is a jealousy that we can get the story of a Devadatta who became very jealous about the Buddha's success, and he tried many ways to cause difficulties to the Buddha, and this is from the resentment, and we can see he caused the Ajatasattu to kill his father, and that's again because of the jealousy. That why I am also born a Sakyan, I am also a monk. Why I'm also a descendant of the king. Why I am not respected? Why only the Buddha? Yeah, and that's a resentment generated more, and as a result, he caused a lot of bad deeds, like the killing, helping to kill the Ajatasattu's father, and hiring the archers to kill the Buddha, and making an elephant drunk and try to kill the Buddha. And these are the actions that one has taken simply because of the jealousy and envy of others' success. So here will be the thought and what else? Mood.
He also thought he was better than the Buddha because he as well, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, better than the Buddha as well. And then physical expression and environment. And these are some of the factors that changes, and it's up to us how do we change our thoughts. And this thought can be changed on the basis of the environment that we are in, and then how we express those physical. Actually, there's also speech as well. Yeah, should be speech, physical expression, physical and verbal expression. So now, when we become jealous, when we become envy of others' success or accomplishment, the thought will generate, right? And then we change our moods, and then we act physically or verbally, and then that's how the whole environment change. The whole situation changes there, and this change not only bringing unhappiness in us, but also unhappiness to surroundings or any other people, those who are in. So that's why mudita is something that we have to change the whole scenario of this resentment and envy. Quite a lot of people are suffering because of this resentment, not able to accept others' accomplishment, and then try to make every ways to make them feel bad, make them feel, not they feel, but try to make others in a misery. Try to make other people feeling a misery, or try to make them feel like causing a trouble in many ways. Anything anybody wants to say on that? Like
Yeah. I could reflect on some proverb in Thailand. So we have one a famous quote saying that do good but do not stand out. That will cause a disaster.
My parents taught me the same thing.
Oh, really? So it's not only for Thailand, but it's maybe international quotes. But do not stand out. So, but so this thing happened, and from my experience, so I used to do some like a drama video that I interview a monk, a chief monk, and then there are several topics, but this topic get the most views.
No.
So that's mean like many people like suffer from the resentment, not by themselves, but they I think they got the effect from the resentment of the other. That for example, when they do good, so many people will try to bring them down or something like that, or unhappy with their success.
Yeah.
Even
sorry.
oh, sorry.
No, go on.
Oh, even animal. So we have the quote that the story of the dog of King Rama VI of Thailand. So he has a dog, kind of he loved this dog very much, called Yale, and later on the dog was found dead. Yeah. Yes, and then they say that it's because like somebody kind of jealous that he get of the animal, and he got a lot of attention from the king. So he eventually, I don't know, get poisoned or something like that.
Did you want to get petted by the king?
Yeah, it's no, or maybe because maybe the dog is saying that somebody doesn't like the king or what, so they poison him.
Isn't that the king made a statue of the dog later?
Yes, that one, and then so that's why he made a statue of that dog.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's like not only apply to human, it can apply to
even the
so
dog.
anything.
Even the cat here as well.
Really?
Yeah. Well, here sometimes they write their will, giving it to the cats and the dogs. And there is a story that one family they wrote the whole property in the name of a cat. And this is a 4-bedroom house. And after this lady died, this whole house was belonged to this cat. And in the will, there is a saying that you have to feed this cat twice a day. And cleaning the whole house twice a day, like that. And then people, those who are going to clean the house, they don't have a 4-bedroom house. They're living in a flat. So they become very jealous. And then the story was that they try to, although they will not get the house, but they simply become jealous over the cat.
So I think it's similar to one the famous designer Karl Lagerfeld, that he left in like the inheritance to his dog. Yeah, he can wear diamond necklace.
So crazy. So if someone ate that dog, they can claim, okay, this dog is part of me now, so it's mine. You are saying in English, we is saying the tallest flower gets cut first. Remind me of Gandhi. He said this thing about doing good work, doing being an activist or something like this. If a if a young person chooses to do service for the community, and he starts, let's say, going and making a road, the first person to he would go and think, okay, because I'm doing a service for my community, everyone will praise me. But actually what happens is, the elders, the leaders will turn against him, and they will think, oh, this person is trying to take my power. So they
Yeah.
will get jealous, and then they will try to make up stories about him. And then everyone will turn against him, but he has to keep going, keep doing. But then the leaders will one day come to your side, and then the leaders above them will turn against you, thinking, okay, he's trying to win an election or be the be the big man. So they will try to destroy them by spreading stories, maybe violence. And in the end, everyone, even your family, will turn against you, but you need to keep going. And then the most dangerous thing happen is when they start giving you awards and start praising you, and then you will go against yourself, and you will do this only out of pride, not out of goodness.
So
Yeah, there is one more story. Okay, so I think this will come later. Okay. Um, in the West nowadays, they are using this term. It's called emotional deprivation. Huh? And as a result of this emotional deprivation, not able to appreciate others' success, there's always competition going on. Always trying to uh, what's called stepping on someone's head. So this is the business, whole the business is going in that way too. And that's why some scholars nowadays are using this mudita as a way to come out, or this called this emotional, overcoming this emotional deprivation, teaching them to rejoice, appreciate others' success, and particularly like these big giant companies trying to swallow all the small companies. And then with that, what's happening is that these small companies are feeling jealous and this envy, like that. And then that's how some of the entrepreneurs having a very difficult times to deal with, or to come to the terms. And this has been one of the ways to help them, therapies, giving this emotional deprivation ways to come out, having appreciating success of others. So that's another thing as well. Right? I was just about to talk about this one. Opposite of a mudita is the jealousy and envy and greed. Okay? Now, how can we? So this is again. Now, first of all, let me tell you a story of a Sanjaya. Yeah, after the Sariputta and Moggallana left along with his friends to see the Buddha, Sanjaya, he knew that the Buddha has attained the Buddhahood. He is one who knows, and he should be going. And he rejoiced on his success, and yet he couldn't go. And because of that, one, he was so joyous to hear that the Buddha arose, and because of his pride, he couldn't go, and it killed him as well. So, what do you think of how to cultivate the joy over somebody's success? How can you cultivate joy? Yeah. And in those cases, like suppose you are in a very hard situation, a very difficult time, will you be able to rejoice on somebody's accomplishment? Will you be able to rejoice on somebody's success? In, eh? Can you tell me? Suppose like Okay,
It's like a motivation sometimes, no?
Yeah.
It's like I've always rejoiced in people's success who come from a similar background to mine. So like working class or immigrant community or someone, if they find success, it makes you very happy. It's like, oh wow, this person can do it. It's like a part of the it's like our success as well. So
so that's
maybe
again
pride.
it's pride going to the
pride.
pride. There is a limitation there. It's supposed to be no limitation. Suppose you know no limitation at all. Suppose we are very hungry. Suppose we are all beggar, sitting begging, and then only one person walks and then give one a loaf of bread to one person, your friend. Will you go and greedily, so greed here, greed, grab and beat him and take that bread, or
depends how hungry,
or you will be jealous about it, that, oh, why you got it, I supposed to be getting it, or envy, or will you rejoice, okay, you got it, I'm happy with you?
I will definitely be the former.
Yeah, so I remember when I was in Bangkok, I went for a begging, so Pindapata. Yes, sometimes I went Pindapata as a novice those days. And sometimes I see people standing to give a food. But sometimes they do not give you because you are not familiar with. They are waiting for a monk who they are normally give. We are not a normal Pindapatas. We do not go every day. So they are waiting for someone who comes every day. And then sometimes that makes me feel like very angry, resentment. And sometimes I feel, and suppose I am behind of him and he's having it, then I feel jealous. So I reflected on that for a long time. I reflected on that for a long time. And then later on, I somehow got to my mind how lucky I am. Although I'm not going every day, oftentimes somebody is offering to me. But look at this monk. He has to go every day. And then so lucky he is that there is someone always caring, always offering to this person. So that's how I was able to overcome this jealousy and greed over that offering, thinking that, okay, at least because when I was going Pindapata, that wasn't my necessary. It was just out of curiosity and then out of just wanting to know. But for that monk, it was necessary. Yeah, and that's how I was able to overcome and feel happy for him, that someone is always there to care. Despite I was walking for an hour, probably I didn't get nothing like that, and yet I was able to rejoice as someone who received it. A similar way, and now because of that moment of experience, even nowadays I still link with that to every situations. Although that's supposed to be me who is getting, but I try to link with that in that experience and rejoice on somebody's success, like that. And every time when when these events happens, I can catch immediately what's going on in my mind and what happens in my heart. So I contemplate on that and then generate mudita over it. So that's how I overcome the jealousy, and I cultivate the joy over it. So this is one example I just thought it's good to share with you. And nowadays, this is again one of the very important factor that everyone should have it in the modern day, in order to live happily and able to be kind to one another.
In my time as a monk, when there are times of difficult practice which comes now and then, the rejoicing in the success of other monks or other practitioners in their meditation and in their sila and their attainments, like stories, life stories, in suttas and things, even what you hear from others, it can bring joy. It's like, it's like rejoicing in it can help as well. Like instead of feeling, oh, why can't I do this? It's like a feeling of joy, or it's another brother or a sister has
attained.
Yeah. It's very, very nice. Good feeling.
Right.
For me, I think for mudita is not that hard. It's not hard for me. I think it's because of I always think that if I see a successful person, so I would think that person as a kind of role model. So there must be some. I'm thinking about the one called like cause and effect. So when they success, so I think there must be some cause to make them successful. So I always look at as a model, and then I, rather than focusing on that person, so I focus on my effort, my input, so I can be successful like them. I usually think I might be successful like them because there may be some other factor as well that can make you as a successful person. So
yeah, that's exactly point here coming. Moral emotion.
really,
This is for the moral behavior.
Like it's the karma, so we need to produce the same.
yeah. It's not to look at the other people outcome and then make you feel bad about yourself, but you need to focus on your input or your effort. So to make you like that person. Yeah. But there are some. But I feel it's in these days that the society also has difficulty of overcome jealousy.
Yeah. So that's why the practice of mudita is ability to see others' success in various ways, and then as you have mentioned about their karma, their effort, and so on. So that is nowadays is called moral emotions that one person has to have in order that that person will be behaving towards the well-being of own self, other people, or the society. And then because of this emotions a person having, again, like because of the jealousy and a resentment over someone's success, the moral emotions went into the negative, and because of the negative the thoughts of this emotions, the behaviors become immoral. When this become immoral, then that causes what's called the antisocial behaviors will generate, and that antisocial behavior again can be a particular person, a particular ethnic groups, or particular nationalities, or any particular groups like that. So this whole process is going into, even for like nowadays, it's like a separation between England and Scotland. These are all from that moral emotional accomplishment from one to another, and like that. So the whole moral behavior are coming from what you have mentioned about the not able to accept and come to terms that there is possibility of there's karma involvement, there effort involvement, and when the moment when you can, then there's less troubles. There will be. That's why I like this one. The moral emotions are emotions that are linked to the interest of a welfare, either of a society as a whole, or at least of a person's other than the judge or agent. So this is from the mudita practice, developing and the development comes. So that's why I like this moral emotions, and then also I mentioned here the emotional deprivation which is going on because of a lack of this mudita over someone's success. So this is I supposed to be explaining this one to start off, but we went in different ways. Okay, so mudita comes from the root mud, yeah, and which is means soft-heartedness, and then kindliness, sympathy, appreciation, an attitude that is complementary and benevolent. I like this one. Yeah. And then in terms of the Buddhist perspective on that, inner spring of infinite joy that is available to all regardless of circumstances. And this is the description from the Buddhist point of view. Yeah, inner spring. It's like here the story here where is it's like we tap a reservoir of happiness. Yeah? So it's like a spring of a reservoir, the water of happiness and joy over someone's success. So we just tap into that. So this is the inner spring inside ourselves, infinite joy over somebody's success. And then we can rejoice to anybody. Sometimes the second one can be very troublesome. Yeah? Parents rejoice children's success and accomplishment. As we discussed, it can be their pride. But however, they always rejoice on children's success. So this is the mudita appreciation. So before going into this and how to start, I will go on the Monday. Okay, we have to stop here. So anybody wants to say anything on this mudita?
I have I want to get some advice that for the person, for example, now we're talking about the person who's like successful. How can they what is called overcome maybe what kind of some sort of action from the jealous people? How to handle the jealous people? In short,
suppose you become a successful and somebody jealous over you. How would you overcome that jealousy, right? Okay, anyone?
Don't care.
I think people I think this day people will look for this piece of advice as well. Because sometimes you don't want to make people feel bad because you're success, right?
Yeah.
But at some point, if you success or even something a little bit, but if the other people or the surrounding we surround by people who like jealous even a little bit because they have emotional deprivation, very deprived on that. So even a little bit, for example, you get something, for example, if you are in a queue and all of a sudden at that time you get more than other people, the other people might jealous on that as well. Even a small thing, it's not a successful big success, but so how?
Yeah. Okay. How do you think we will overcome? First thing, first of all, you should celebrate that someone is jealous over you. Yeah,
That means
because
you better.
yeah, because they see that you are successful. Yeah, so first of all, you have to celebrate that you are successful. Doesn't matter how small that is.
You done something.
You have done something that you are success. You accomplished that. If you haven't succeed anything, no one will jealous over you.
It can lead to pride though.
Yeah, so that's why and that is the first thing. And the second thing, you feel sorry for someone who is feeling jealous. Okay? And if possible, helping that person to follow the path for the success. Eh? You're not, after you have seen that he is or she is jealous over your success, you're not looking down upon that person. You should celebrate that he or she is there to see how successful you become. But again, in order to prevent from developing that into the pride, you should help them, show them, guide them. So that is how you will overcome. You're not pushing that person away or neglecting that person away, but rather you will become a good friend. In a way, that person is good friend who is caring about every little things that you are doing. He or she is like a mirror.
There's a referee in their head.
And then further on that, even you try to like offer the help, but they won't accept it. They won't accept it. It's okay.
It's okay. You offer a food for them and they don't want to eat. It's okay. Do not be disappointed. Do not be disappointed over it. So that's why first thing, that if somebody show a jealousy over you, you should be proud of yourself that I am successful. And then in order to prevent from being a pride or from proud to pride, so you have to give your advice to that person, helping. And but the meantime, you need to be very mindful that there's always possibility the person that you are helping can backbite you. Okay, it's very, very easy. The person who is the danger is a good. In the meanwhile, you need to be very mindful of that person too.
Because at some point when you think about that and then try to offer help so many times, and then you just feel that it's not enough, so you do I have to do more, something like that.
You have to know the limits, and you have to put the kind of this much I can do. Now you can't help yourself, then you have to let go, which will come later on in the Upekha section. We will discuss on that, how to leave aside. So just think about the after you have given sufficient from what you think is enough for that person, but that person is not taking over it, then we have to leave it. Okay.
Thank you very much.
That is okay.
Yeah, Chan, I have one more point about
Mudita,
right? Chan? This teaching that I was going to tell, this was told by the Lompo Lisilingdam.
Okay.
Two points about the Mudita. Actually, I found it's very quite interesting. One point was, if anyone is cultivating the good merits, good deeds, and making a merits, then actually, if he will get a fruition for 100%, then if anyone saw that man the first man is cultivating a merit and rejoice on his merit, then he will get 90% of the fruition.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yes, yeah.
This was the one point. And another point, he said that if anyone get the fruition of his good deeds he have made in the past life, but we don't know when we will get a fruition. But the first man, when he made a merit and he got the fruition first, and then only the second one will get the fruition, who have rejoiced.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
You will get the fruition, and then only after that, the one who make a rejoice on his merits, he will get latter.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's a rejoicing on.
Yeah. Just like the Pimpa. Actually, her name is Yasodhara Pimpa.
Yeah.
Just like the Bodhisattva, always whenever he become a Bodhisattva and cultivate the merits, and then Yasodhara Bimba in our past life, she always rejoice in the merits that Bodhisattva has made. And then this is her last life, she become a Bhikshuni and become enlightened.
Yeah. Yeah. So we will come to that one about the present, past, and the future rejoicing, which on Monday we will talk about that one as well. So there are 3 ways of rejoicing: present, past, and a future. And now you have already touched about the past and the future so far, so maybe I don't have to say much. But the last thing that I just wanted to say, in Thai community, Thai Buddhists, they normally use 2 words a lot. That's one word is called anumodana. Yeah, whoever does any good things, doesn't matter how big or how small, if you have heard, you will say anumodana bun. So that is rejoicing over someone's doing good things already, and that is a mudita part, and that neutralize your emotion. Yeah, that neutralize emotion, that brings the harmony, which is lacking nowadays. And the second word is a sadhu. Yeah? So whenever somebody has done something good, you are saying sadhu. So that's also mudita over someone's action. And that also brings the emotional balance. So mudita is basically bringing the emotional balance in us and then to others as well. So that's how you will be overcoming this emotional deprivation. We have to learn to say anumodana, and we have to learn to say sadhu over anyone's good action that they have done, any accomplishment they have achieved.
So that means the word that we use, the mudita and the pattanumodhanamai, is the same word.
Yeah, pattanumodhanamai, anumodhana, that's the same. That's same. Mudita, that's same. That's very important that we have to understand that one. But nowadays, sometimes people say sadhu in a negative form as well. Sarcastic, yeah. That also will come as well. There is the word.
I remember this one, Ajahn. Actually, when most of the people say the sadhu, and then they only say it from their voice, from their mouth, but their heart is not in the sadhu.
Yeah, that's why that is also, it comes somewhere.
Some people just say automatic, like, oh, Anumodami, sadhu, just like that.
Not with the heart, complete rejoicing it.
Okay, I did my job.
And that is another form of this called resentment. Okay. You're saying sadhu, but being sarcastic. And that's akusala. You have akusala chitta there. The result will be akusala, and you will be saying inside you, you are showing off, like that. So that you are in trouble. That's why it comes again, emotional imbalance.
Facebook likes as well. They're like this, eh? Like if you
Yeah.
like something on Facebook.
Yeah.
Before Achan said that there was one more topic about the Karuna.
Yeah.
What was
No,
that?
no, I'm waiting for after the Upekha.
Okay, okay.
Because it has to go all with 4.
4.
Yeah, all 4. Wait for that one. I kept it for the last. But after the Upekha, we will. I will tell that last one. Okay. Okay. So we have to stop here. Thank you, and we'll see you on Monday. Okay. Have a good weekend.
สาธุค่ะสาธุ
I hope not the
No,
sarcastic.
not sarcastic. It's from my heart.
Satu.